I can eat a whole bowl of broccoli for a snack nowadays, and I can enjoy that. And today I want to talk about how to stop eating unhealthy food and starting to eat healthy food without wanting to go back to unhealthy food. You see, a lot of people make the mistake where they make this New Year's resolution or whatever, where they will be on a strict diet. They start eating food they hate, but that is supposedly healthy, and they last for a while, and then they give up. They miss eating unhealthy food that tastes good so much that they then start binge eating on unhealthy food again. And then they feel this feeling of guilt. They feel very disappointed because they could not stick to a diet. But if you instead do what I will tell you, you will not feel this guilt. So, first of all, I don't believe in diets. I feel like the whole point of diets is so that you can eat them for a while, so that you can, for example, lose weight. But what do you think will happen after you lose weight? You will start eating junk food again and regain that weight. No, you cannot eat healthy food just for the sake of being healthy or losing weight. You need to eat healthy food for the rest of your life. Okay? This is why it's very important that you learn to love eating healthy food. Because this is the food you will have to eat for the entire life from now on. So you better learn to enjoy it. Now, are you allowed to ever eat unhealthy food? Of course! It is not realistic to limit yourself completely to certain types of food for the rest of your life. Maybe unless you choose to be vegan. But the point is, moderation is key. But what is moderation? How do you know you're not eating too much of something? Well, what works for me is eating the unhealthy food on special occasions only. Let's start with the most obvious example. Cake should be reserved for someone's birthday. You eat it when you celebrate your own or someone else's birthday. And then eating all those cheese balls and stuff or buttery popcorn, it's good when you do them with friends in a movie night, for example. And it's good to have some Coke to that. And fast food is good when you are far from home and you are in a hurry. You don't have time to wait for fancy dinner to be served. And alcohol is also good in social settings. However, I can barely imagine myself eating any of those things by myself at home. When I am at home, I want fruits, vegetables, and my go-to drink to that is plain water, and I love that. So, how do you learn to love healthy food? Well, I believe slowly cutting out unhealthy food and starting to incorporate boring food is a bad idea. I instead prefer eating what I like to call middle ground foods. It's food that is healthy or at least a healthier alternative to what you are eating right now, but at the same time, it's not this boring food. It still tastes pretty good, and it's really helpful in making that transition from eating unhealthy to healthy food. One good example of a middle ground food is blueberries. Blueberries are healthy and they taste amazing. They taste so good that you can pop them like candy, but they are healthy. But if you somehow think it is too hardcore, you can start with grapes. Grapes have like a bunch of sugar or something, and they are not as healthy as broccoli, but they are still a good alternative if your current go-to snack is gummy bears. And once you learn to love eating grapes, you will then transition to eating and loving blueberries. And then you will transition to eating and loving strawberries, and so on. Now, as for drinks, a lot of people, for example, choose Diet Coke over regular Coke. However, a Diet Coke contains artificial sweeteners, and I know there is a huge debate over them. Some people say artificial sweeteners are extremely dangerous, while others say they are completely safe. But nonetheless, they have the word artificial in them, so it doesn't really feel safe for me to pop something artificial inside of me. Now, in moderation, sure, but on a regular basis, no. I think a middle ground drink right there would be sparkling water. You have the bubbles, just like in Coke, so it's not as boring as plain water, but at the same time, you don't have any sugar or artificial sweeteners. And sparkling water may help you transition into drinking still water. Now, if you think still water is boring, then make it cold. If you have a water bottle, for example, store it in the fridge and put some ice cubes into your glass of water and whatever it takes to make it cold. And this is basically the idea. You go to middle ground food and then transition into eating in a healthy way. And you keep unhealthy food mainly for special occasions, because this is something that has worked for me.